Hi everyone, my name is Olivia McGann and I am a dietetic intern as well as a master's student at Benedictine University. And today I am excited to talk about the DASH diet and some research behind how it can promote weight loss. Alright, so during this presentation we're going to learn about what the DASH diet is and what it stands for, how it specifically promotes weight loss. We're going to look at some studies that look at the DASH diet and weight loss specifically. We will look at overall conclusions as to how effective the DASH diet is in promoting weight loss. And lastly, we're going to talk about adapting the DASH diet if this is something that you're interested in. So the DASH diet stands for the dietary approach to stop hypertension, and more specifically, it's going to lower your systolic blood pressure or the blood pressure that's the top reading. However, it does also lower your diastolic blood pressure, the bottom reading. It's high in the vitamins and minerals of potassium, magnesium, calcium, vitamin D, and it's also low in salt. And these vitamin and minerals are going to help open up your blood vessels so that there's less blood pressure that is on the blood vessels, decreasing your hypertension. And I'll talk about this more in the next slide, but it's going to emphasize fruits, vegetables, low-fat dairy products, lean meats, and nuts. Alright, so next I'm going to talk about the food groups within the DASH diet, and then also you can see on your right hand side the daily or weekly servings that you should get. So first for grains, these are going to mainly be whole grains. So those are going to be foods such as whole wheat bread, quinoa, brown rice, whole wheat pasta, popcorn, and this is going to provide us with energy and fiber. Also for meats, poultry, and fish, the meats and poultry should be um, the lower fat ones. So it's going to be chicken, turkey, center cuts of pork, as well as salmon, shrimp, tilapia, and these are going to provide a good source of protein and the magnesium, which I talked about earlier. As for vegetables, so this can include broccoli, carrots, collard greens, green peas, kale, potatoes, spinach, sweet potatoes, and this is a good source of potassium, magnesium, and fiber. And fruits such as apples, apricots, bananas, grapes, grapefruit juice, mangoes. These are going to be a good source of potassium, magnesium, and fiber as well. The next food group includes low-fat or fat-free dairy products. So these are going to include foods such as low-fat or fat-free milk, low-fat or fat-free cheese, yogurt, and then it can also be your milk alternative such as almond milk or oat milk, and these are great sources of calcium, vitamin D, and protein. The next group is fats and oils, and this is going to be foods such as low-fat mayo. It could be lower fat salad dressings. Avocados are a good source of fats, as well as olive oil, safflower oil, or canola oil. Then your next group is the nuts, seeds, beans, and peas. And as you can see, these are 5 servings per week. So really any nuts or seeds, almonds, peanuts, walnuts, cashews, sunflower seeds, and these are a great source of fiber, magnesium, and protein for the diet. Just make sure that especially for the nuts, that these are um, lower in salt because nuts do tend to have a lot of salt in them. And then there's sweets and added sugar, so no more than 5 servings per week. And these are going to be like your cookies, cakes, um, jellos, hard candies, things like that. And then for sodium, so there's a range for the sodium, so no more than 2,300 milligrams per day. And so it's going to range from 1,500 to 2,300 based on your weight and how many calories that you need each day. Alrighty, so how does the DASH diet promote weight loss? So I talked a lot about how it can help with blood pressure, but something that I really want to emphasize is that there is a strong association between BMI and hypertension, meaning as BMI increases, that increases the risk of hypertension, and then vice versa. So as BMI decreases, it's going to decrease the risk of hypertension. And this is because excess body weight actually causes overactivation of our central or our sympathetic nervous system, eventually causing vascular inflammation. And then this vascular inflammation is going to cause something called cytokine release, which are basically proteins that are then going to stick to the arteries and then cause the plaque buildup. But as we saw before on the previous slide, there's very minimal processed foods within the DASH diet, as it's full of fruits and vegetables, low-fat dairy, whole grains, and lean meats. So naturally, this diet is going to be lower in calories to promote weight loss, but it's also very nutrient dense, which is great because it means that you're getting all your vitamins and minerals in for the day with a bit of a calorie restriction. Also, you probably noticed on the previous slide, I talked a lot about how a bunch of the food groups have fiber, and this fiber is going to help us keep us fuller longer to maintain hunger cravings and also stabilize weight. So the online nutrition education program was called Dash for Health, and participants in the study received weekly news articles on the Dash guidelines based on their specific calorie needs, and then they also received weekly sub-articles that described how to lose weight. So in terms of weight loss, 203 participants had the goal of losing weight, so their weight was measured at the start of the program and then 12 months later. The results found that 74 obese participants lost an average of 5.2 pounds, and then the 77 overweight individuals lost an average of 3.4 pounds. The 52 others that were normal weight gained an average of 0.2 pounds in the 12 months. So this diet did promote weight loss, but as we can see, was most effective in those that were overweight and obese. The next study looked at children and adolescents, and the purpose was to evaluate adherence to the DASH diet over time and study the association between the DASH diet and blood pressure, weight status, waist circumference in children and adolescents. There were 9,793 participants, and a third of the children and adolescents were considered overweight or obese. So NHANES collected data from 2003 to 2012, and all the data they collected across the US was by in-person interviews and self-examinations by doctors. And to examine the compliance to the DASH diet, children recorded their intake every day, and a DASH score from 0 to 9 was given to them, with 9 being the greatest compliance with the DASH diet guidelines. And the results found that there was very poor compliance overall among all the age groups to the DASH diet, and there was no significant association between the DASH scores and waist circumference or body weight. So this study really showed that children and adolescents' dietary habits and the way they eat doesn't really align with the DASH diet recommendations. The third study studied the factors the DASH diet has on weight loss, exercise, blood pressure, insulin levels, as well as lipid levels, and this study was done on 144 overweight men and women with high blood pressure. Alright, so the participants were assigned to one of 3 diets. The first one was the DASH diet alone, which was abbreviated DASH-A. The second one was the DASH diet in addition to a calorie restriction and an exercise program, and this was the DASH-WM. And then there was also a control diet, which was known as UC, and it met the specific calorie amounts per day based on an individual's needs, but didn't follow the DASH diet guidelines. Weight loss results show that those in the DASH-WM lost the most weight, and they lost about 4 pounds total, and then those in the DASH-A group lost less than half a pound, and then those in the control group or the UC group gained less than a pound. So as we can see that those in the DASH-WM lost the most weight, and in this study, the DASH diet was most effective with a calorie restriction and an exercise regimen. So to summarize the results, the DASH diet is not proven to be effective for weight loss in children, as we saw, they don't really follow the DASH diet guidelines. And the DASH diet alone is not effective in optimal weight loss. So really, in addition to the DASH diet, we want to see physical activity and a calorie restriction as well. Also, it's important to note that there is a relationship between blood pressure and weight loss. And this diet it's more of a lifestyle rather than a diet, so it's going to result in slow and gradual weight loss, which is a much more safer diet plan. So if you're interested in adapting the DASH diet, or as I like to call lifestyle, some key things to remember is it's a very flexible diet, so it doesn't require adding or buying additional supplements, shakes, pills, etc. So this makes it very cost effective. However, it does require a behavior change, as you can see, you're eating a lot more fruits and vegetables and really cutting down on sweets and high fat foods. Some tips I have is fresh food is always the best. So, for example, try to buy fresh fruits and vegetables as opposed to canned, as these are going to have the canned vegetables are going to have a lot more sodium in them, or if you buy like canned fruits, those are going to have like syrups in them, which can add more calories. Remember, grains should be 100% whole grains. Also, it's really important to read the food labels, especially to look at that sodium count. And also with this diet, you can really try and experiment new flavors. So instead of adding salts to foods, you can add some herbs, you can add some spices, or you can add like vinegar or lemon or lime juice.